It was an early start this go-around. I didn't want to waste any daylight. It was dawn when I crossed over the bay and passed the USS Alabama. I arrived on the south end of CSX Yard and found a unit running engines light. The crew was getting lined up to enter the yard. Afterwards, I stayed behind to watch the sunrise over the state docks. I moved further south and set up for C-247, loaded coal from Tuscaloosa to the McDuffie Coal Terminal here in Mobile. C-247 came to a stop. Another train was blocking the entrance to the terminal a few miles down the track, meaning C-247 would have to wait. For some, having to wait was not a part of the plan. I was located at the former, and soon to be again, Amtrak station, located on Government Street. Amtrak service east of New Orleans was terminated after damage to the line following Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. CSX reopened the line several months after the storm, but Amtrak never returned. The city of Mobile, along with Amtrak, announced service would be returning in either late 2023 or early 2024. Eventually, the terminal entrance cleared and 247 was able to continue. This section of track in the heart of downtown is a quiet zone, no horns. I didn't stick around to see the end of 247 as I heard some chatter on the Norfolk Southern channel about a train entering their yard. I had to cut through the state docks to get set up, but I was held up by a pair of Alabama Export EMD GP38s. These are the only two locomotives this railroad owns. They were transferring cars from the Norfolk Southern Yard to the CSX Yard. I was able to get past the yard traffic and caught Norfolk Southern 385 entering Mobile. 385 originates in Irondale and travels south to Selma before terminating in Mobile.
Double A dispatch, Jack, plan, turnover.
385 pulled into the yard and came to a stop. I decided to pack up and head over to the north end of CSX's yard. This is what I came to find: the one and the only crossing blocked by yard traffic. The road crew in front of me was also waiting. They will play a key role later in the video. I heard a train was heading southbound out of Mobile and got moving. I set up on Broad Street where the CSX New Orleans line passes over. Moments later, M601 appeared, daily mixed freight from Waycross, Georgia to New Orleans, Louisiana. 601 was a rare catch today, as Heritage Unit 1869 led the pack. This locomotive is a throwback honoring the Chesapeake in Ohio. I had never seen a Heritage unit in person and wanted to get one more look at it. I packed up and continued south. I drove several miles ahead of M601 and set up at a secluded crossing. Unfortunately, 601 was put into a siding due to track maintenance and crew miscommunication. The crew I was stuck behind earlier did not seem to know what section of track they were working on. The dispatcher in Jacksonville, named Dino, was not having any of it.
Alright, here's a better question. What is the milepost that you say that this is at, this weld?
The 664.0.
664.0? That's down at the south end of 3 Mile Creek, in the south end of the siding. 664.0 is between SAS 3 Mile Creek and the NAS 3 Mile Creek. That's where that milepost is at. Did you copy what I just said?
I did not.
You're saying you're at the milepost 664.0. That milepost is at 3 Mile Creek, between the SAS 3 Mile Creek and the NAS 3 Mile Creek at the south end of that sandy siding. That's where that milepost is at.
No, sir, we need between 3 Mile and Aladoc.
That's not where that milepost is at. Between the OSs, between 3 Mile and Aladocs, the milepost is 663.5 to 663.9. If you want the 664.0, you need to go south of the SAS signal at 3 Mile, in the OS at 3 Mile, over.
Power, Dino.
Go ahead.
Let me call these guys and job brief them.
They're going to call you there, Mr. May, because there is a bit of confusion here, and we need to get this straightened out before I put you back out there.
After an hour and a half wait, 601 was finally cleared to proceed.
Milepost 674.9er.
After 601 passed, I headed back to the city and stopped along the Mobile River. The Port of Mobile, which relies on the river, serves as a shipping hub for Alabama's commercial exports, primarily timber, coal, and cotton. The river also has a cruise terminal located downtown and is used by Carnival Cruise Lines multiple times a year. Unknown to many, the river also contains a cruel and deadly history. The last ship to ever transport captured slaves, the Clotilda, arrived in Mobile via the Mobile Bay and Mobile River back in 1860, 50 years after Congress banned the Atlantic slave trade. 110 Africans were kidnapped and offloaded just up the river, where they were eventually sold to the slave market. 5 years later, following the Civil War, survivors of the Clotilda returned and founded Africatown. The tracks that run over these waters contain a haunting history of their own. Less than 7 miles down these tracks, the deadliest rail accident in Amtrak's history occurred. A misguided barge struck the rail bridge that crosses the Big Bayou Canal, causing the tracks to be displaced by approximately 3 feet. Amtrak Sunset Limited derailed and flew off the bridge just before 3 a.m. on September 22nd of 1993. The train was traveling at 70 miles an hour prior to derailing, giving the crew and the front-end passengers no chance of survival. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you'll be notified when part 2 of All About Mobile is released. Stay tuned.